town. He's unable to be here today. He sent his letter, but I wasn't sure if it had reached, so we brought a copy of that as well. That's
Thank you.
not mine.
We'll get it into the file.
Senator Langley, Representative Cornfield, members of the committee. My name is Jim Katsafikis. I'm an attorney with the firm of Perkins Thompson and the town attorney for the town of Newry. Speaking today in opposition to LD 1080. Now, back when Newry joined SAD 44 back in 1965, as we've all heard, there was an opportunity to withdraw from the SAD if it decided it wanted to do something different than its constitutional right to educate its students and to pay for that education. And there also was a funding formula in place. It served well for 40 years, but in 2005, the legislature did a funding reform, EPS, Essential Programs and Services. That funding reform shifted from the state valuation, as we've heard many times, and I don't mean to be repetitive, to a more per pupil cost-sharing formula. But Newry was excluded. And there have been representations that Newry agreed to it. My understanding is the town of Newry did not support that exclusion. And for the committee assistant, you can find that exclusion, I believe, in PL 2005, Chapter 2, Part D, Section D69. That exclusion had a couple of, had one carve-out. You can go back and negotiate a cost-sharing formula for all of the towns in the SAD to negotiate and bring it back to a referendum. Newry tried that, and it failed a couple of years ago. So Newry has been pursuing its only other option, the withdrawal process. That's now, as was said, on its 10th extension. It's gone extraordinarily long. It's reached deadlock. We'll talk about that this afternoon with LD 1336 as to the process, what went wrong, and how that can be corrected. But at any point, at this point, Newry has been trying to work through the withdrawal process. Now that it's been excluded from EPS, now that the cost-sharing proposals failed, now that it's pursuing withdrawal as its only other option, this legislation proposes to take away its only remaining right, the ability to withdraw. That's why Newry opposes it. Now, there are many reasons individuals might have. It could be representation, it could be money, it could be taxes, it could be any number of things. All we are here talking about and asking about today is whether Newry can continue to have the same right that all other municipalities have, municipalities except for Frye Island, and that is to withdraw from the school administrative district. And so we're here to advocate for that. Now, we understand the proponents see in Newry's ability to lead this district potential for economic hardship, and we've heard that. Well, there will have to be a contract if it does. Eventually, we hope there will be a contract with regard to withdrawal that would provide for a transition period for 10 years, as talked about, so that the district that remains would not be left stranded. But we ask this, please look at it from the other side. Perhaps where Newry per pupil contributions are approximately 10 times more than the state average, where the percentage of property tax revenue paid by Newry for the support of SAD 44 is about 73% in 2015, as opposed to 40 to 44% in the other towns, where all of the towns have significant non-resident second home ownership, and there's lakefront property in the other towns, where Newry is only sending 27 students to the 700 pupils that are in SAD 44, where Newry has 1/8 the population of Bethel that pays as much or more to SAD 44 each year. Maybe there's an argument out there. All we're asking for, we're not making that case today. We're not asking this committee to decide whether Newry should withdraw, but just under those circumstances, why shouldn't the community be able to continue to be in the withdrawal process and to bring it to the voters to decide, do they want to be a part of this or not? So we're asking that this committee vote LD 1080 ought not to pass. I'm glad to try to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Katsafikis. I have a very unrelated question. I've never heard the name Katsafikis outside of Ellsworth, where I know a bunch of them. Any relation to the folks up there? The famous
Charlie,
basketball coach?
The famous basketball coach, Charlie Katsafikis, was my father's second cousin. And way back, we all came out of New Hampshire, well, from Greece by way of New Hampshire. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony today. Thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone else that would like to testify on LD 1080? Seeing that, on behalf of the committee, would like to thank each and every one of you for coming today, and I would also comment that we'll have as tough a deliberation on this bill as you folks have had in your struggles before you came here. So we'll give this our best effort. And that concludes our public hearing, LD 1080.